The number of coronavirus cases continues to rise in Montana. We'll tell you where the latest ones have popped up, and we have new information on additional protective steps being taken by Bozeman Health Services.
In the darkness, there is light. That is what one couple is showing in their business. When one started to go under, another add-on here started to pay it forward. I'm Cody Boyer in Belgrade with their story.
Just ahead of 6:30 now on your Friday edition of Montana This Morning. Once again, social distancing key right now, so I'm over at the news desk. Matt is over in the weather center. It's our first full day of spring, and it's pretty cold out.
It is chilly outside, and it looks like we're going to be dealing with some cooler temperatures for the overnights, but the afternoon still you're able to get outside and enjoy, at least overall. Right now the temperatures are holding into the 20s across most of the area. The clouds are trying to thicken up, but if you have plans to be outdoors today, this is a good day to do it. Temperatures back into the low 40s. You'll still need those coats as you're stepping outside with a slight clearing late in the day. We of course have mild temperatures heading into the weekend. We also have some snow to talk about. We'll be talking about that from the Billion Auto Weather patio coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. 6:30 now. 4 new cases of the coronavirus have now been confirmed in Montana. The governor's office says that 3 of the 4 new cases are in Yellowstone County. One of them a female in her 20s and 2 are men in their 20s. The 4th case is in Roosevelt County, a woman in her 70s. That brings the total number of Montana cases to 15. Meantime, Bozeman Health says that effective immediately, all non-urgent medical services are being temporarily suspended at all of its sites. That includes Deaconess Hospital, the Belgrade Clinic, and the Big Sky Medical Center. Bozeman Health says the temporary suspension includes all scheduled patient visits, surgeries, and procedures deemed not absolutely necessary. Urgent care will still be provided at the emergency departments at Deaconess Hospital and the Big Sky Medical Center, and at B2 Urgent Care in Bozeman, Belgrade, and Big Sky. Bozeman Health says it's trying to contact all patients, but anyone who does have an appointment and has not yet been contacted should get in touch with their doctor's office. Reports have linked one of the positive cases of coronavirus in Montana to the Environmental Protection Agency's office in Helena. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has more information.
On Wednesday, the national publication The Hill reported that an employee working at the EPA's regional office in Helena had tested presumed positive for COVID-19, and that the agency was asking other employees on the same floor to stay home. The EPA office is located in the Federal Building off 15th Street. MTN contacted the EPA, asking them to confirm whether any cases had been reported at the office. A spokesperson responded, saying the agency has been notified of one employee who is presumed positive, awaiting CDC confirmation. They said the health and safety of our employees is our top priority, and that is why we have encouraged all EPA employees to telework. EPA is taking swift action in the event someone becomes symptomatic or has potentially been exposed to the coronavirus. The agency said they are encouraging employees to practice good hygiene and stay home if they're sick, and that they are notifying those who may have been in contact with potentially infected employees. They say they are following guidelines on disinfecting workspace and common areas if someone may be infected. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Time now 6:33. It looks like Gallatin County is now back to having 4 confirmed cases of coronavirus. One case was reclassified to New Hampshire, lowering the count to 3, but then that changed again. The Gallatin City County Health Department gave us an update on the latest person diagnosed here in Gallatin County.
This is a California resident, a male in their 60s who is exposed in California and traveled here. He has a home here, so he's resting comfortably at home. We believe that he had very little exposure in the community. He isolated himself. The destination of the individual was Big Sky. He wanted to ski there, and he learned on his way there that he had been exposed. They are not in the Big Sky community at this time. They were tested at the Big Sky facility, but they are not in Big Sky at this time.
And just to clarify, the person from New Hampshire who was diagnosed is still currently in Gallatin County, so that person is included as one of the 4. Governor Steve Bullock has issued a travel advisory for Montanans who have traveled internationally to self-quarantine for 14 days after returning to Montana. The governor says this is especially applicable to Montanans who return from spring break. He says prevention is the best way to fight the spread of the coronavirus. Yesterday, the State Department advised that U.S. citizens abroad should return home unless staying for an indefinite period, and that international travel should be avoided. 6:34 now. These are difficult times, but difficult times often bring out the best in other people. MTN's Cody Boyer has a case in point.
At first, when you start walking down Main Street here in Belgrade, you see a lot of businesses like this. Lights off, large signs at the front reading, "Sorry, we're closed," or something along the lines of "due to the virus." But here at Sunrise Cafe, while the lights are off, they're finding a way to help people.
This has slowed down many businesses.
It's an image that is becoming the norm in Belgrade. Darkened open signs and dark diner windows.
Our last day was almost a 90% drop in business before the closure.
For Brant and Rhonda Gilbert to have closed Sunrise Cafe and Bubby's to a limited capacity hurts.
We are apologizing to customers on the last day before the actual closure because the bleach smell, because we were not only cleaning tables, then we were re-bleaching each and every table.
And if you read their sign, you can see the Gilberts weren't about to be stopped. Carry out. Customers could order their food and then pick it up from outside.
Our clientele is predominantly in the age group that is most susceptible to the viruses and stuff. So we have spent, like everyone in the business, tons of time cleaning.
Their second step can be found just up the road. Bubby's Cup of Joe, now temporarily dubbed Bubby's Burger Barn, is coming to life just over 2 weeks after it opened.
Because this has drive-through and that is completely walk-in or order-in, we've seen a complete flip.
And while the Gilberts have lost thousands, the windows and doors here are still open and lit up, just like Rhonda's attitude.
Tell me you can't be feeling better when you get yourself a milkshake and a cheeseburger.
It makes you so proud. My business cannot be your priority. We appreciate it. We love you for it. Take care of yourself, because once this is over, we want to see every one of you again.
In Belgrade, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
And in the mining city, in response to trying to stop the spread of coronavirus, the Butte Library is limiting its number of days open to the public. The library will now only be open on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The library encourages people to call in book and DVD orders and pick them up outside of the library as the library tries to limit the number of people inside the building.
We have asked our cleaning people to do a little deeper cleaning in the library. We also have turned off every other computer so that people sit farther apart. We ask people to limit their time to just 1 hour.
The library will be open from 10 in the morning until 5 in the evening on the days it is open. But in Bozeman, the public library has completely closed its doors due to those same concerns of spreading the coronavirus. So because of that, no one will be able to return any books or other materials. Due dates for those items have been extended for another 8 weeks. All programs, classes, and group activities are canceled as well, and the library will be closed until further notice. 6:37 now. The doctor behind a recent study on vital exhaustion says the results show your mental health could have a greater impact on your body. For the first time, Dr. Parveen Garg's research links burnout with a common heart condition called atrial fibrillation.
While people may not even know they have it, it's still a very serious condition because the fact that you have an irregularly beating heart can increase your risk of developing a stroke.
The World Health Organization sees burnout syndrome as extreme work-related stress. Dr. Garg says his study looked at even more causes of exhaustion.
Whether it's, stressors at home or dealing with a chronic illness with yourself or with another family member. So, we were looking at exhaustion that didn't just focus on burnout in the workplace, but just a lot of things can make us exhausted.
The study surveyed thousands of people and tracked them over 25 years. It found those with the highest rates of exhaustion had a 20% higher risk of getting AFib. Dr. Garg says the correlation could be from additional stress and inflammation in the body, but more research is still needed.
Even if we think that's what's going on, then ultimately you really need to do studies where you're actually actively trying to manage someone's stress and then seeing if that actually does reduce the risk of an arrhythmia in the future.
The CDC estimates about 6 million Americans have AFib, and that number is expected to rise as the population ages. Time now is 6:39. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back on Montana this morning, the move to online classes for more students, creating more questions than answers. We'll tell you some of the biggest concerns for both students and educators. That's next, and here's what's coming up on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, we're in California where the governor is asking everyone to shelter in place to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. Plus, we're joined by the FEMA administrator to talk about the federal government's response to the pandemic. And we're going to hear from young adults who still refuse to listen to the warnings about the dangers of this virus. Finally, how couples whose weddings are being upended by the virus are dealing with the turmoil. There is a lot of turmoil to go around. We'll see you at 7.